Hello everyone, I'm back with a new video tutorial. The last video, we have created our Canon and projectile. Today, we will walk through the multiplayer UI script, which handles the user interface for hosting, joining, and leaving a multiplayer game using Unity netcode and relay services. Now, let's start. As you can see, I have a ready UI in my game and how I'll teach you how I did it. First you need to do is to right click in hierarchy, in UI, create canvas. Once canvas created, you can right click canvas, UI, and panel. Here in panel, if you want to have a background panel or what background you want, you can create it by simply putting a image here. Once you have a image here in texture type, make it sprite 2D and UI and apply it. Once you have it, go go back to the panel that you created and here insert image. You can simply drag it or just click this circle button and you can see here, you can just click it and it will show in your panel. Inside our background panel, I add a text which is the title of our game by simply right click in the background panel, UI and text mesh pro. Once you and click it, just created it, you can change the name of it in title and here under the title there's a text here. You can change whatever the name of your game you want. In our game, I we name it Ship Army. Next, we need buttons for us to have the host, join and exit and leave. Now create another panel by simply right clicking again in canvas, UI and panel. Now you can adjust the color of your panel so it can the background can be visible and under the menu panel you can create a empty object that's named buttons and under it you can right click it UI the button so you can create a button and you can simply arrange the buttons in the way you want it. And here I align my buttons downward and here under it it has a text so you can change the name of your button at in first the name of my first button is host join exit. As you can see the leave button is not visible. But next after that we have already have a new panel. Now we're going to create a new panel again. So like what we did before, just right click canvas, UI and panel. Here in panel, I created a jump panel. This is for the multiplayer where the player will input a code for it to join in other players. In my join panel, it has a confirm button, a join code input, and a text. Here you can see also it in the UI. There's the input field, the button, the text. And then also you can simply arrange it the way you want. So after you have it, we will going to uncheck it so it will hide because later we're going to create a script for it. So here we have a name panel. Create the script now. So you're in script, create and subscript. And here's the script for our UI. The multiplayer UI script manages the UI elements for starting or joining a multiplayer session. It also controls scene transitions and network action. As you can see here, we have the namespace, which has the Unity Engine UI. This is for handling buttons and input fields. We have here the scene management that we will be explaining later. This for loading different scenes. Unity netcode is for multiplayer networking. The system collection is to use coroutines. And here we have a variable declarations. These public variables store UI elements that allow the player to host, join, or leave the game. Next, in the start, this method is called when the script runs. And here we have a scene check. This retrieves the current scene name and prints it to the console. This helps in setting up different UI behaviors for main menu and game world. The game world is the another scene, which is the main scene of our game. Now, we're going to having a UI setup for main menu. This assign functions to buttons, hides unnecessary buttons like the leave button in the menu. We also have here in the UI setup for game world. It activates the leave button in the game scene, starts a routine to update the join code when available. Here we have a coroutine updating. This coroutine waits until the join code is available. Under it is the persistent network manager. This checks if the persistent network manager exists. If not, logs an error and stop execution. Have here the also a while statement. This continuously check if a join code is available. And the join code display the text. This updates the UI to show the join code once available. Now for the post game method, this code when the host button is clicked. Under it, there's a persistent network manager. This calls the function to start hosting using relay and switches to the game world scene. Now for the show join panel method, this displays the join panel when the join button is clicked. Under it, there's a if statement. It activates the join panel UI. This assigns the join game functions to the confirm button. Next one is the join game method, called when the confirm join button is pressed. There's a string there, string join code. It checks if a join code is provided. Also, we have here the find object of type. This starts the client with the provided join code and loads the game world scene. And we have here the method. This is called when the exit button is pressed. It uses application that quit to close the game. Lastly, we have the leave game method, called when the leave button is pressed. We use here the network manager, the singleton shutdown. It shutdowns the network connection and returns to the main menu. Now, when you have the full script of it, simply save it. And here in the hierarchy, we create empty. Once you create empty, you can name it a UI manager of what manager you want it to name. And we will going to apply the multiplayer UI script here. And you can see there's a different button, input, display, panel, and join button. What we have in Canvas, we will just simply put the buttons that we have created earlier. We're going to simply drag the host button, join button, exit button, leave button in their designated buttons. And here the join code input, you can see it in the join panel. Here, this is the join code input. This one. You you will just simply drag it here in the join code input, same as the join code display text. And you will click the join panel, drag the join panel here. So when the join button is clicked, this panel will open up. And lastly, we have the confirm button. We will simply drag it there. And now, for the scene manager, we will just simply add your main game scene. I have here my main game scene here. This is called in the scene manager. Here you will also have to create a UI manager. You will also put the buttons here in its inspector. And now we're going to main menu. So for it to work, the scene manager will simply go to file, build settings, and put your scenes here. First is the main menu, and second is the game world for it to be accessible. Now, let's try. Here you can see this is the user interface of the game that we created. First the host, join, and exit. As you click the join panel will pop up. Here's the confirm. This is the code. Any code, you will simply once you put a code, it will go to the game world scene. And here's the leave button, which has the leave. Once you click it, it will return to the main menu. In here in host, once you click it, you will go to the game scene and here's the join code for it that will created and pop up here in the panel. Here the exit button will not work since we are in the Unity, but if it is in app, it will work. And this script manages all multiplayer UI interactions. It handles hosting, joining, and leaving the game. Also ensures the UI updates correctly based on the scene. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next tutorial.